All right, guys, we're ready for the conference championships and the NBA Retro League. I'm just going to go over the Copperheads versus Nuggets series first. I'm not going to go deep into the numbers and bore the hell out of you with that stuff. I'm just going to go straight to what I think each team's advantages at each matchup. Okay, first off, the Copperheads. They have the advantage here with Nikola Jokic. Jokic, excellent player, as we all know. He'll be taking on Anthony Davis and Nick Richards for the Nuggets. Anthony Davis missed about 40% of the season, so they're going to fall back on Nick Richards a lot. But either way, no matter how you slice it, Joker's going to win this matchup. He played 83% of the season. The check mark goes to the Carolina Copperheads at center. Let's move on to the power forward position. The Copperheads had two dependable players this year, Evan Mobley and Jalen Duren, and they're both solid. Let's look at the Denver Nuggets at power forward. They've got Domantas Sabonis. Now, Sabonis played about 70% of the season, and they will have him most of the time. And he was actually better than both Mobley and Duren. But when they have to go to the bench, it's going to be Trace Jackson Davis, and that will be a little bit of a problem for the Nuggets. I'm going to give the check mark to both teams here. I think it could go either way in this game. So far, the Carolina Copperheads have the center. It's a tie at power forward. Let's move on to point guard, kind of shake things up, move away from the front court, go to the point guard. For the Nuggets, Ja Morant is definitely a great point guard, but he missed much of the season. When they have to fall back on Jalen Green, that's going to be a problem for them. Moving on to the Copperheads, at the point, they've got Jamal Murray. He's a decent point guard, but not spectacular. When they go to the bench, that's where they're going to have a little trouble with Keontae George. They're looking at bringing in Colin Gillespie, I think it is, to kind of help them out at the point, but they are going to have to fall back on Keontae George quite a bit when Jalen Murray is not on the court. Now, the deal is Jalen Murray plays most of the game. He plays 36 minutes. He was available for 84% of the season, so it's going to be Jamal Murray, rather. Looking at the point guard for the Nuggets, they don't really gain too much of an advantage unless Ja Morant's on the court. When Ja Morant's on the court, this team has a chance to dominate. The only problem is Jalen Green, once again, wasn't that great. Again, I think this is a tie. So far, the Copperheads have the advantage simply due to Joker. Let's move on to the small forward position. At small forward, the Denver Nuggets, that's AJ's team, has Jeremy Sohan and Quentin Grimes. Grimes, had his moments this season, but a lot of times really not that special. So Sohan and Grimes are going to be taking on LeBron James and Franz Wagner for the Copperheads. I think this is an obvious advantage to the Copperheads. LeBron, when he played most of the season. I think they've got him right here. This is going to be a key matchup. If the Copperheads can exploit the advantage at small forward and center, they definitely have the advantage. That leads us to the shooting guard position. That's where the Copperheads have Desmond Bane and Jalen Clark. Jalen Clark is not very good. Desmond Bane is definitely good, and he played most of the season. He'll take up 32 minutes a game. That gives the Copperheads something they can work with. However, they're facing probably the MVP this season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. At the two guard, Shai Gilgeous retained 68% of his fantasy points per minute, and he played most of the season. This is where the series is going to get interesting, because Shai Gilgeous can totally put the Copperheads in a hole in this matchup. And that's what's going to make this matchup very interesting, because Desmond Bane, as good as he is, can he match up with Shai Gilgeous? Absolutely not. Where the Copperheads have big advantages is at center and at small forward. With LeBron James at small forward, Franz Wagner off the bench. At center, it's Nikola Jokic, and that's it. Where the Nuggets have the advantage is definitely at the two guard, and they can also have a big advantage at power forward when Domantas Sabonis is healthy and playing. He can outplay Evan Mobley and Jalen Duren of the Copperheads. So the bottom line is that this series is going to be very interesting. These teams are fairly evenly matched, and it will be interesting. Game 1 is tomorrow, that's Friday, and I'm looking at the total points scored by each team. We've already seen what the Golden State Warriors, the San Francisco Warriors, Phil Johnson's team, can do in a couple of series. He came in as the number 5 seed. He beat the Rockets in the first round, William Slavy's team. A 7-game series, great series. The Warriors put up 132 points in that series in one game. In the second series against the Pistons, it looked like it was going to go 7 again, but the Warriors just kind of jumped on the Pistons late in the series and took them out in 6. And in Game 6, they scored 134 points. So I will be very interested to see what kind of point totals the Nuggets and the Copperheads can put up. I think that will really show us a lot. So that's about all I have for this series. The next video I make is going to be the Saints versus the Warriors. That'll be next.